It's going to be amazing. We have a wonderful guest joining us, John Adams, the founder and CEO of Liberty Cigars, is going to be right here because we have a special announcement that he's going to break, but also talk a little bit about history. So
absolutely. Why not? Yeah. All right, let's open that mic.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, you gon' ride with us? Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor MAGA, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. This the red, white, and blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's what you gotta lose. Red hat stays on.
playing an invisible keyboard. Did you ever do that? Air keyboard, air
You just
guitar.
made our show like so cringe just now.
No, there's somebody out there laughing in their living room, spit out their coffee. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh,
Welcome to Open Mic, where everything is on the table. There's nothing that we won't say, and it's live. So what are you going to do? So we should talk about some breaking news yesterday that breaks my heart, breaks your heart, breaks everyone's heart. It is the there was a shooting, an active shooter situation. I think they're calling it now a mass shooting that took place. This is very, very sad, Allie. This happened in Georgia at Fort Stewart.
Yeah.
My question is, and maybe we didn't brief this ahead of time, but it went on for such a certain amount of time. It's an army base. Are they not armed when they're there? Do we have to rely on security? Are they not carrying weapons? How did this go on for the length of time it did?
Only military police carry weapons, usually.
Okay.
On post or on base.
Okay.
That's not to say that that military members don't have weaponry in their homes.
Right.
They just have to be registered.
Yeah.
But usually it's just the MPs that carry the weapons on base. I don't know. It is very tragic. I think the assailant is actually a service member.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I had that somewhere.
28-year-old. Yeah, 28-year-old. I did want to get this sound clip. This is General John Lubis, who's talking about the soldiers in the area who witnessed this. Obviously, our soldiers go through enough.
Tragic.
To have to witness this is very difficult. Take a watch.
I don't have the details on that, but I know that his soldiers in the area that witnessed the shooting immediately and without hesitation tackled the soldier, subdued him, that allowed law enforcement to then take him into custody.
So,
yeah,
I mean, not being able to, and I listen, I didn't want to make the show about the shooter.
No.
That's part of the reason why we didn't include this mugshot for him, or this footage. What I have not heard, is he alive? Was he detained?
I think he's detained.
Okay.
I haven't heard, I don't think there have been any fatalities.
He is in custody. 28-year-old Army Sergeant. So we're going to follow this closely. I don't know.
Nobody knows what happened, like what the reason was behind it. I'm sure in the coming days they'll release whatever they can. But usually there's something by now. So I don't know. Maybe it's sensitive. Who knows?
Yeah. So our thoughts and prayers go to everybody at Fort Stewart. And, our men and women whether you're a first responder, law enforcement, or you're in the military, there is a lot that you go through mentally, a lot of anguish, especially if this person has served overseas and seen who knows what. So we're going to hold off on really any further commentary until we hear some facts about it. But we just want to let you know that is breaking, and we'll bring you the news if it updates here during our show. A little bit of lighter news.
Okay.
I'm so excited about this because Superman is joining ICE.
Avengers. Well, that's not Avengers.
That's Avengers. But listen, Dean Cain was one of the best.
Yeah.
And he's like Christian, so he's doing all the faith-based movies now.
Yeah.
He's a little cutie pie. I didn't say that live here, but he was. But he was on Jessica. Dean Cain. I told Allie in the car yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna check out how much ICE is, what you got to be an ICE agent. Because hey, I'm Latina.
I'm saying.
Don't they need?
Why not? If I don't know.
Dean Cain is doing it. Does it matter?
doesn't matter.
He's Dean Cain.
Right.
I love it.
That's so cool.
Take a listen to this interview with Dean Cain.
So now I've spoken with some officials over at ICE, and I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP. So they'll have 80,001 recruits for their 10,000 positions.
Well, they can't have a better guy than Dean Cain. Are you going to be hopping out of ICE fans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever Director Lyons wants me to do. If that's what it takes, absolutely. I somehow doubt I'll be in that position, but I would be there in a heartbeat. These brave men and women need someone to stand up for them. So rarely, these days are we seeing that. Someone like Daniel Penny stands up, he gets vilified. Dan Bongino steps up, gives up $5 million a year, and goes and takes his position at the FBI. This is the kind of thing where people have to step up. I'm stepping up. Hopefully, a whole bunch of other former officers, former ICE agents will step up, and we'll meet those recruitment goals immediately, and we'll help protect this country.
I
love it. When you put, oh Lord have mercy. When you stand on principle and you put your money and your actions where your mouth is, you make change.
Yes.
And so instead of doubling down and digging your heels in, you're going to have some courage to stand up and rise up and do the right thing. I like it. That's cool.
This reminds me of, we would hear about like NFL stars that would, break away from the NFL to go join the military during, right after 9/11, or even during World War II times. I mean,
when your country's in need of servants.
And this is really where the battle's happening, right? Yeah. We just realized, like, through Trump running for office, like, oh my gosh, we don't have to send people overseas to fight a war. We're at war right here in our own country.
Right, we literally had an invasion. So hopefully they get to 10,000 pretty soon. I have no doubts. They literally have like 100,000 applicants, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane. So good luck to them trying to go through all of those. All the recruiters that are working on that. Yeah. I know that's hard work. So good luck to y'all. Exciting. Hopefully you can find all the right people.
That's exciting. It's really exciting.
Stand up and serve your country. Why not?
That's right. It's a different way you can serve right here. I think it's amazing.
I mean, didn't Elvis serve?
Well, he did serve, but he didn't see combat.
Doesn't matter. He still served.
Yeah. Everybody did during, like, it's that post, like, World War II era. Like, literally Major League Baseball was shut down because so many of our baseball players went to serve, and they started a women's league of their own.
That's
you
why.
Gotta watch the league of their own. The women, just like they stepped into the factories.
Yep.
Rosie Rivets, Rosie the Riveter. They also went and played ball. Just
women also joined the service. Some of them very incognito and dressed up as men to join the service. That was back in the Revolutionary days.
Yes.
So
I would have done that. I totally would have.
I totally would have too. It's like a modern day Milan. Yep. That's probably where they got it from, to be honest with you. But made it Chinese instead of American. I don't know.
That's for Disney. Allie, another big win that's happening is tariffs. At midnight last night, reciprocal tariffs launched.
Awake until midnight. That man probably doesn't go to bed.
He does not sleep. I don't know.
With all the things going on. Ooh, wow.
He announced that massive reciprocal tariffs, this is Trump obviously saying this, that take effect at midnight. He said the only thing that can stop America's greatness would be the radical left court. He's obviously thinking that maybe preemptively there might be a leftist appointed, Obama appointed, Biden appointed judge that might try to stop this in some way. But it's sad to think that the president that was duly elected is putting America on the right path to victory, and the leftist judges are coming out to try to stop.
Because they're legislating from the bench. Let's just call it what it is. Instead of them actually doing the work of becoming a legislator, right? They have to legislate from the bench because they have TDS. I think that is now an actual mental illness, and
maybe we should prescribe ivermectin for it. Make everybody out there take it.
We should prescribe Kamala's book.
Kamala's book. Waterboard me before you do that, please.
No,
I cannot. No, literally, no.
It would have to be the slow drip. The slow drip is more painful.
And
more irritating.
Anything but Kamala's voice. I can't do it. I can't do it. Allie, you sent this to me, and I thought this was interesting. We like to shout out to our other independent journalists that do the work and the heavy lifts. Somebody that's done that over on Real America's Voice and with Bannon's War Room is Natalie Winters. Mm-hmm. She broke this, but this is something that I know is near to your heart because of the work that you've done with Moms for America to really try to make sure that our food is safe, that our food is even our farmlands are protected. Take a listen to what Natalie Winters had to say about the CCP's involvement in our farmland and how it ties into Congress. Listen.
I started following your exceptional investigative reporting when you would write up former U.S. officials who would take these emoluments from China in exchange for lending credibility to the Chinese Communist Party. Are there any former congressmen who you have identified as involved in this effort to help in the acquisition of our farmland?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, one of the members of Congress currently sitting on the select committee on the Chinese Communist Party, he actually spoke at an event sponsored by the U.S.-China Heartland Association. I'm forgetting his name. It was not totally linked to this piece, but Governor Bob Holden, I believe of Missouri, is the co-chair of this group in its entirety. And like I said, this group is slightly unique, Matt. I know a lot of my old reporting has focused on how these old congressmen turn into lobbyists for foreign countries. We should ban that while we're at it. Yes. But USHCA is very unique in that instead of going for federal officials, they're targeting state level. So particularly mayors, governors, and even unelected positions. So people who are, kind of the state liaison for agricultural affairs, working in the agricultural department. So this is very tailored access operation type kind of operations going on at the hands of the Chinese Communist Party, right? They always prefer infiltration to invasion. And in this case, I think they know that you get more bang for your buck. There's more ROI if you go after these local officials.
Wow. Talk about a covert operation happening on our soil under certain advisement from Congress.
Well,
congressional members.
There are
ethics. Anybody?
Yeah,
Are there ethics?
Do we want to peek
anymore?
Do we want to peek under the ethics rock? Because there's some stuff happening, and I'm not talking about just on the Democrats. I'm actually talking more on the Republican side because that's who we're interested in holding accountable. What she's alluding to here, Allie, is obviously that throughout our nation, there have been attempts not only by the CCP to own farmland, to own land near military bases. Some states have acted. Florida has acted with the military base portion of it. But this goes even deeper because we were always so afraid during post Pearl Harbor times of any kind of invasion, ground invasion on our coast. But this is a different type of invasion. If you can get slimy politicians in your pockets, and if you can get people who sit on these boards, these unelected boards, if you can get even your local Department of Agriculture director, this is how the CCP does it. Do we want the Communist China Party to be anywhere near our food sources? They're the ones that brought you COVID. Do we really want this?
No, we don't. And I don't know why we have congressional members that are on the side of this. This should be a no-brainer. No foreign country or entity should own any kind of land in America. Period. Do you see us going over to France talking about, hey, let's farm your land? No. Why would we do that?
No.
That would be considered an invasion.
Yeah.
Or some kind of covert takeover. No, we can't do that.
And what I love that Natalie, she dropped that little nugget at the end there and said, and also we probably should do something about those that we elect.
Yes, becoming lobbyists.
Leaving Congress and becoming lobbyists. Or in the case of Florida, sitting as the head of the GOP and being a lobbyist. I'm sure there's nothing going on there, Evan Power. Nothing to see there. Sorry. Just had to put that in.
You know what? Moving along.
I think Mr. Jerome Too Late Powell might be running out of time. I love James Fishbeck. We actually had him on the show at Turning Point where he kind of dropped that, listen, something's coming, guys. But we're about to kind of make waves. Well, he's gone ahead and sued Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve for keeping interest rates high.
Right.
It's basically screwing the middle class and not in a fun way. So let's take a listen to what James Fishbeck had to say.
The last time interest rates were this high, inflation was 6.5%. Inflation today, because of President Trump's leadership, is 1.8%. What on earth is Jerome Powell doing? The Board of Governors can't fire him. Congress can't fire him. The president can't fire him. That's a real problem. If you can't be fired from any job, whether you're the Fed chair or a fry cook, then you have no accountability. You have no skin in the game. You can keep messing up, and no one can truly ever hold you accountable.
That's irresponsible. And that position, it should not be one man in that position or one person in that position, because that is just way too much power.
Well, and listen, how does this sit with you guys? I mean, do you have that kind of autonomy when you go to work? I mean, if you didn't have to, you didn't have the option of being held accountable and fired. And this kind of immunity is the kind of thing that we needed to have exposed. We've seen it in the pharmaceutical industry. We've seen, them be immune. We've seen congressmen and women be immune to certain things. This is now, James Fishback is putting obviously a big target on his back, but he's also doing you and I a big service by saying, listen, not only does the Federal Reserve act and behave this way, not only is he immune from being really held accountable, Jerome Powell, but also their meetings are not even disclosed in the same way that public meetings are typically, whether it's your local school board, your state level. You can get minutes to all those meetings. There's so-called sunshine laws that prohibit them from doing these behind closed doors, except the Federal Reserve.
It should be a board. Don't you think it should be a board of members?
It should be a board.
And then there could be a chair. Like, that just doesn't make sense.
And put a mom on that board.
Put somebody on that board. It's got to be filled with like regular people, though.
Yeah.
Like people, people that understand finance, obviously, and that are
somebody
able to
like
break
James
it down.
Fishback.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he broke it down to us, we were sitting there.
Like, okay, that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. We got to have him back on. Yeah. So keep it tuned here for more on what happens with Jerome Powell.
One thing I do want to say about the whole China buying farmland that kind of just rang out to me.
Yes.
They understand how politics works, and that's dangerous. They understand how a foreign entity understands better how our government operates.
Yes.
Better than we do.
Yeah.
They know that local action equals national impact. That's why they're going after the local municipalities and trying to buy them. But so do the cartels. And so do we.
Yeah, so we are.
We really need to step it up.
We are going to step it up. Listen, I want to just update our audience here. We talked yesterday about the redistricting, the congressional redistricting taking place in Texas. So at the time that I pulled this morning, it appears that a few Democrats in Texas have returned to the state. I do want to shout out to them. Representative Philip Cortez and Representative Eddie Morales came back to the state. So what happened is they said, listen, we're going to vote on this new congressional map. It's going to allow Republicans to pick up probably 5 seats. I think definitely 5 seats. Yeah. Trump's all on board with it. This is how you win. You don't take your foot off the gas pedal. Democrats said, we don't want to vote on this, so we're just going to not show up for work. Again, not show up for work. And they're going to hightail it out of the state. So what do you do when the people that you elected don't want to show up for work and decide that they're going to skip across the border?
Essentially vacate their seat.
That's what
happened.
We're going to keep a close eye on this.
So what happened to the Ford? Did they get arrested when they came back?
No, they haven't been arrested. And actually, Trump just came out. I don't have it. It was so last minute when I was on my way in. Trump's come out and said, do we need to look into maybe getting the FBI to figure out where all these people have gone? Where have you gone? Why have you gone to red or to blue states? Why have you gone to places that do gerrymandering the best? They go to Illinois. Listen, J.D. Pritzker, this is what he does. He redraws districts, which is why Republicans don't ever have a fair shot in Illinois. Gavin Newsom has a whole commission set up in California to do just this kind of gerrymandering redistricting. And it is based on race there. Whereas in Texas, it's based on party line. Take a listen. Take a listen. Yeah, take a listen to Stephen Miller destroy Democrats. Take a listen.
The Democrats have gerrymandered this country beyond recognition. Republicans won in the biggest blue states, about 40% of the vote in the last election. States like California and New York, according to the official tally, but only got 20% of the vote. So I'm talking about the House Republicans here. In 2024, House Republicans won a 3-time larger popular vote margin than in 2010. In 2010, they picked up 63 seats. In 2024, 4 seats, even though they won again a 3-time larger victory in the popular vote margin, House Republicans. At every level of this country, Illinois, Chicago, New York, Massachusetts, Democrats have gerrymandered the vote beyond recognition to try to maintain their advantage in the House elections. On top of that, let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020 census by including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump. They sued the administration. They fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens. Texas is taking just a small corrective step against this ocean of fraud, this ocean of abuse by the corrupt Democrat Party, Sean.
All right, let's look at the economy. The president.
So, interestingly enough, there's your reason for the Biden-Harris administration having open border policies, because they, again, drew the conclusions in the census. They allowed illegals to be counted here in the United States, and that's what they based their House seats off. I do want to let you know, our viewers know, because I know we have a nationwide and even international audience, we're told, so that's kind of interesting. But Texas is currently in progress in getting this new congressional map drawn. Those that are considering, this is
looking for that.
Florida, Indiana, Missouri, and Nebraska. So wherever you are watching us from, I'm sure Allie would be quick to tell you your call to action is to reach out to your senator, your state senator, and your state representative, as well as your governor, and say, listen, we would like to, if you're in a red state, we would like to consider looking at redistricting. We need to pick up as many seats as we can, because again, this is kind of what you say, Chad always says, Chad Caton, learn the game, play better, kick their
ass
behind.
No, he says ass.
Okay. He does. Guys, don't go anywhere. Make sure that if you are wherever you're watching us from, make sure you chime in. We'd love to hear where you're watching us from and what you think of Too Late Jerome Powell. What can we do to remedy that? We've got a great guest coming up next. He is John Adams, the CEO and founder of Liberty Cigars. So don't go anywhere. You're about to get a great history lesson. Refill your coffee cup. Come right back. We'll be back with more Open Mic after this.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
Can I handle her today? She doesn't even have coffee next to her.
I haven't had coffee all week. This is me, all natural. But listen, you ever have your bestie kind of throw you a little truth bomb during the commercial break? Has that ever happened to you?
No, it wasn't a truth bomb. It was funny.
It was
just messing with you.
The earrings almost came off. You would have come back from commercial break.
She's totally lying.
She's lying. We're so happy that you joined us.
Yes, thank you so
Listen,
much.
if you can't go through current events and the news with a little bit of laughter, then you know what? I don't
mean, if I showed you the picture of my face, have you ever seen this meme of Rihanna where her face is just like, that has literally been my face for like the last couple of weeks. I'm just watching the news.
Some of the stuff breaking is
wow. Then that's literally all I can say is just wow. No words. But yes, so our next guest, I'm so excited to present to everyone, and because I saw them first, I believe it was at CPAC. I was with Moms for America. This was, I think, my second CPAC. This one was in DC. It wasn't during 2022. That was Florida. So we were in DC this time. And we had like a fundraiser we were going to. And we ended up going to the fundraiser, and it was Liberty Cigars was the featured item at this fundraiser.
Okay.
And I was like, what is this? And so I'm looking at them and they're amazing. I mean,
These cigars look like artwork to the point that you can see
the
she
boxes.
still has the plastic wrapper. This is the Trump one. This is the Trump one. But what I love about the education that I'm getting about Liberty Cigars is even if you don't smoke cigars, somebody that you love probably does. They make great gifts. But B, if you're going to do something, you might as well have a good story to tell with it. If you want to get an education in a box while you're enjoying maybe some whiskey and a cigar,
right.
Not that we do that, but we do. Yeah, we love what this does. So I want to welcome to our show John Adams, CEO and founder of Liberty Cigars. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I've enjoyed your show so far. It's wonderful being a spectator. You talked about a lot of things that have a historical context. The men and women who left their high-profile and high-paying jobs to fight. Obviously, Pat Tillman was who you may have been referring to. He left the NFL and went to war. But James Stewart was a bomber pilot. He flew 28 missions, and death was around 7 to 10.
Wow.
He risked his life, and I think a lot of those scenes when he filmed, what's that movie he filmed, the Christmas film, It's a Wonderful Life. A lot of that emotion was his reliving that in his mind. And Ted Williams, the greatest hitter of all time in baseball, fought in the Korean War, was a bomber pilot and crash landed. Just extraordinary. That's what they used to do. Paul Newman flew in a Navy Avenger, was a Navy pilot.
I had no idea.
That is so cool.
Oh, yeah. In fact, the reason I know that is my uncle was killed in the same plane. Not the same plane that he flew, but a different plane. But Paul Newman was a fighter pilot. I mean, you have just extraordinary history there. So it's wonderful that Dean Cain, Superman, is. I hate to follow him, but on your show, but he's. It's awesome that he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
thank you for that minor history lesson. Do you see why we're so intrigued by you, John? I love this. Could you just let our audience know a little bit about what and how this came about, Liberty Cigars?
Well, our mission is to tell America's magnificent story because it's not told as much as it should be. I think it may be getting a little bit better, obviously, with Trump in office and history in recent times. Anything that happened before 1968 doesn't get told, and it's a travesty because you have all those stories, millions of stories like the one I just told, and I was sitting around the fire with some buddies smoking a cigar, and they asked me to tell some obscure stories about American history, and I thought I was going to tell them about things that people had no idea about, but they didn't have any idea about anybody. Oh, wow. So I built, they didn't know about James Otis, who gave us the expression, your home is your castle and no taxation without representation. He was the legal mind that John Adams and Sam Adams drew upon in order to fight the British in the beginning legally. But they didn't know anything about people like that. Israel Putnam, who was just an extraordinarily brave man. So I just built a website. I decided that I let the cigars tell the stories, put the labels on them. I did the Founder Series, which has 13 founding fathers in it. And I built the website, put it up there, and I told all my friends, if you want to order cigars, just go on the website and order them. And they told people. And so that's how it happened. We just celebrated our 10th year.
Friendship right there.
Well, and when you have a good product that not only is a good product, but something that has a message and a meaning behind it, people fall in love with your why.
Yeah.
And this is something that anybody who runs a good business understands, that your why is a part of our founding. First of all, not only the fact that you're a small business owner, right? So that it's like that's the American dream in and of itself, but you're absolutely correct. These stories beyond the 60s really don't get told in our school system. We're trying to change that, but even adults, there's things that you forget or you don't realize that you've learned growing up. How important was it to you to be able to educate people as well as give them a good product?
Well, one of the things that is most lamentable about today's society is we've lost our capacity to revere. That's not the same word as worship, but to revere in other people qualities that we'd like to attain for ourselves. You know, that's why it's so important to look back at people like this month. We've got the August birthdays. We've got Nathaniel Green, who was second in command, extraordinary gentleman. And we've got Herbert Hoover, who gets maligned. You hear in the history books. You know, what's extraordinary about him is he saved more lives than anybody else in the history of the world.
Oh, wow.
If you exclude Jesus, of course. He over 80 to 100 million people lived, and their descendants, over 1 billion people are alive today because of that man, and nobody knows about it or why. And so that's why he was our first president that we did outside of the first 6 for the White House Historical Association. This month we've got Grant. He's got a birthday in August. Ulysses S. Grant. And we've also got Oliver Hazard Perry, who is, as a 28-year-old, defeated an entire British squadron, which has only happened twice in the 500-year history of the British Navy. And if you look at them, you realize how inadequate you are as a human being. People like Teddy Roosevelt and stuff like that. But it also inspires you to sort of reach. We don't reach anymore. What's interesting, if you look at the Declaration of Independence, which the 250th anniversary is coming up next year, is that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to them. Obviously, life was precious then. It was more rugged and rigorous than it is now. Liberty meant everything to them. They were willing to die for it, obviously. And then the pursuit of happiness was defined as your pursuit of God's purpose for you, because that's what true happiness was.
Yes.
And it's just, it's amazing how, if you let that drive you, how you can achieve more than you ever thought. And all these men believed that. They believed in something larger than themselves, and therefore they became larger than themselves.
And so that's what makes our founding so incredible and so divine. Because when you have good people of good character and good standing that aren't afraid to back down, and they live with a sense of godly purpose, you end up with something that is divinely protected, and you're able to move forward with that. That is amazing. So I know that you have some series, right? You have the Founder Series, which celebrates our founding fathers. You have the Washington Commander Series, containing great generals within the it was like within 10 of his commanders, right?
Nice.
Is that correct?
The president,
President Series.
They weren't all generals, but they weren't all generals, but they were extraordinary men. So it's basically George Washington, 10 of his commanders. But there was Mel Gibson was an amalgamation of Daniel Morgan and Francis Marion in that movie. I forgot the name of the
Wait, no.
No, it was a Revolutionary War movie.
The Patriot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Patriot, exactly. He was.
Looks like we're losing him. Did want to
It's the two of them combined. Benedict Arnold's in that set. Benedict Arnold is there because were it not for his victory at Saratoga, the French would not have entered the war, and we would not be sitting here today. And so we gave him a great cigar, but turned his band upside down to dishonor him a little bit. But he deserved it.
See, I like that. I like that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, if you look at, I get calls every day. People are like, "The band's upside down on your website." I said, I got the collection yesterday, and the band's upside down. It's supposed to be that way. So.
I love that. So they come in these beautifully crafted boxes. Now, from my understanding, you create these boxes.
Yeah, I make them. We're a small family business. My daughter and my wife Ellen. Ellen does all the artwork. She does a wonderful job drawing. She drew Hoover and Grant. I don't know if you can see that, if that's even possible to see, but that's Grant. She drew him. She drew this Herbert Hoover right there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, she's extraordinary. And then I make the boxes. I'm kind of the grunt guy, so I have a workshop and I make all the boxes. my daughter handles the wholesale accounts that we have. So
That is
we're
amazing. Now, your boxes, they make great gifts. I've gotten some rave reviews. I've given a few out.
Yes.
I would like to return them. No, I'm kidding.
Return to sender.
Send them back to me.
Well, and I want to show,
They
Krista,
are
can we
amazing.
put up the, specifically the link to the shop, cigar shop, Krista, if we could do that. Because if you literally, when I saw the one that you brought into the studio today, it's like a little piece of artwork that is
You almost don't want to smoke them.
because it's amazing. It's amazing.
I've got more of them. Don't worry.
I know.
We've got
Smoke them, enjoy them, because honestly, I'm not a cigar connoisseur, but I have dabbled every now and then. I have men in my family that grew up. That's just what I grew up around. I'm Latina. It's kind of just a pastime.
Yes.
And as we're playing dominoes or playing cards, and you got your grandfathers and fathers and uncles in the room, and they're all smoking cigars. And sometimes you see the women do it, and so I kind of dabbled here and there. But when I tasted a few of yours, I was blown away by how smooth they are, the incredible aroma that comes from it. It is, they're just, I mean, they are amazing. They really, really are.
Yes. And John, this friendship and relationship has obviously grown. We're so glad that you tolerate Allie and I, but we do have a big announcement that we want to make, Allie. We do want to make a big announcement. Is it okay if we announce it here first, John?
Absolutely, yes.
We are officially now affiliates with Liberty Cigars.
Open mic and Liberty Cigars. Guys, this is exciting because we were talking to you, John, and you said, listen, women are like the number one purchasers of these items because they make great gifts, right? So we're excited to team up with you on this.
Yeah, women are 1/3 of our customer base. And some of them do smoke them, but most, as you said, use them as gifts. And they're just wonderful. We customize them. Here's, which I think a lot of women like because they can put their brother-in-law, their husband, or whatever. We did a limited edition of 47 of these for the inauguration. This is Trump's box. We haven't sent it to him yet. But those actually sold out in about 5 minutes. Online. We only did 47 of them, but that's number 47 for him. But we're redoing our website. Our company celebrated its 10th anniversary July 4th, and we decided we finally need to redo our website. So we're going to have a feature on there where people can go in and they can learn how to discern what their whoever the recipients' tastes are in cigars, and it asks them a series of questions about that to sort of help in that regard.
Oh, that's good.
I like that. That's genius. Very amazing. I'm really excited.
I'm excited to see what we can do teaming up with you and partnering with you. I do want our viewers to chime in, either comment below or email us at contact@openmicladies.com. Let us know, what would you like to see out of an open mic collaboration? Like, is there a type of box maybe we can do at some point? It'd be kind of interesting.
That would be fun. But you are developing the America 250 box or series. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm more excited about than I've been anything. We will have all 56 signers of the Declaration in there. One of which y'all mentioned today, and you probably may not realize it, but Elbridge Gerry, he is the genesis for the name gerrymandering.
I did not know that.
Wow. Yeah, he's a signer of the Declaration of Independence and the Articles of Confederation, and he was a Massachusetts delegate, and he made a congressional district, part of it out of spite, in the shape of a mythical salamander, so it was the first one that wasn't designated geographically that made sense, and so he gets the moniker gerrymandering.
Wow.
Where that came from.
Amazing. The things you learn.
And so I have to ask you, because I've not yet gotten a box. I know you've ordered a few as gifts.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful, but so how many cigars come in a box? Is it typically like, do you get to choose? I've been looking at the website. So if they want to go there, they can go to libertycigars.com/shop. But tell us a little bit about what arrives when you order these.
Well, we typically do 13 in a box for obviously for the homage to the 13 colonies. So, but we have a 5 box of Theodore Roosevelt, which is like this. If I'm not tearing stuff up, there's the Rough Rider there, Teddy. That's 5 cigars in a box, and then This is the Carronade box. It's the Naval Series, Oliver Hazard Perry. That comes in a 4. And then we make one for the White House Historical Association. They're big fans of ours. We make all the presidents. We have a presidential series. That has actually 5 in it as well. And we've got, but most of the time they come in boxes of 13. But we just did a box for a guy that was doing a gender reveal. He and his wife know, but nobody else does. And so Teddy Roosevelt, and they named their child Teddy Theodore. And he asked us to. One guy just completed a book on a biography on John Adams. He asked us if we could do 8 in that box, and so we did. So we typically, if somebody has a special request, we try to accommodate it. We've got. In addition to the 250th, it's not only the Declaration of Independence, it's all the seminal events in American history, the 250th anniversary. So we just had Bunker Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Before that was the Boston Tea Party. We've got the Declaration of Independence coming, but we're going to keep going through, the Battle of Trenton is coming up in December. And another one that I am, that's just kind of, the deal is not wrapped up, is we're doing a Medal of Honor series.
Wow.
And my partner and collaborator in that is a Navy SEAL who was the recipient of the Medal of Honor. And I won't tell you his name until we make the deal, but we're gonna celebrate. I talked earlier about the capacity to revere. We're gonna put these extraordinary men in front of everyone and tell these stories. Like the Medal of Honor was originally conceived by Lincoln in the Civil War. Most people don't know that, but General Custer, Custer's last stand, his brother was with him, and he was a 2-time recipient of the Medal of Honor.
Wow.
And it breaks my heart that we know about Custer and his arrogance and his Goldilocks, but we don't know about his brother, who was extraordinarily brave. And I'm a Southerner, so even though he was a Yankee, I want to tell those stories, and so that we'll feature each conflict. We'll have Arthur MacArthur and his son Douglas MacArthur. They're the first father and son recipients of the Medal of Honor. Then we'll have Theodore Roosevelt and his son Theodore Jr., who was considered to be the bravest man that Omar Bradley, who was a top general in World War II, ever saw. And so we'll have those kinds of stories. We're excited about that series as well.
Listening to you talk, John, it's like, so getting a history lesson, anytime you get a history lesson, it reminds me that is a part of our genetics and our DNA as Americans, right? It's part of what lives and breathes in us. It's part of the American spirit. But what it also does is it reminds me that history is still being written. And so to be able to celebrate even some of these current people, to revere them, as you say, it's really important for us to do that, because we have to realize history is now.
Mm-hmm.
It's still being written. How are we going to be remembered, in one way or another?
And will one day a group of men or Americans be sitting around a fire or at the beach or at a dining facility with some bourbon in a glass and some Liberty cigars?
That's right.
Philosophizing about our history.
I love this.
I'll be and what's interesting, I always on to the next project, so I never finish any of them. But one of them was called In a Nutshell, and that was explaining DNA. And what I learned when I was studying that was that our is recombination of our mothers and our fathers, which in turn, we only get 100 mutation out of 3 million letters. That's 800 Bibles stacked on top of one another in terms of our genetic code. And what I realized is I actually have Charlemagne's DNA in me. And the instructions. I have Edward the First, who killed Mel Gibson. I always tell people that in Braveheart, he was King Edward the First, who killed Mel Gibson. I have John Adams, of course. He's a collateral descendant of mine. And when you have that kind of firepower in you, to not be able to rise as they did and achieve great things. I haven't achieved anything great. I'm not dead yet, though. My dad's 91 years old, so maybe I'll live as long as he and I'll have a chance. But it just reminds me that we can do that. That's why it's so important to study our ancestors that are related to us, but also those who came before us that could inspire and inform. So that's why we do what we do.
I'm excited that we're partnering with you, and as an affiliate, guys, we'll have more information on how you can help Open Mic as well as get your hands on Liberty Cigars. We'll have that in a future episode. We want to remind you that you can go to libertycigars.com to get yours. Don't wait.
I think we have a promo code. Do we have a promo code, John?
You do. It's 250th, 250th. And it's exclusive to you guys, and you get 10% off. And in the notes section, if there's something you want that's specific, just let us know, and we're happy to do that. We'll do that for your listeners and viewers.
All right. Well, thank you, John, so much. And tell your beautiful wife I said hello.
I will. I sure will. She'll be glad to hear from you. It's funny. She is beautiful. She looks like Ginger from Gilligan's Island, and I don't know why she married me, but she's the one that ought to be on these things, not me. I don't get it.
Maybe we'll work that out. Maybe we'll work that out.
You won't do it.
Maybe the next project. We'll see. We'll see. The ladies series. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Thank you so much, John, for everything, and thank you for what you do. I'm sure you'll be on again. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. God bless you. Appreciate it. Wow. It's exciting, guys. LibertyCigars.com. Go ahead and get your cigar orders.
Promo code
250th.
250th. For 10% up.
That's going to be awesome. Support Open Mic, support Liberty Cigars.
Yes, guys. And honestly, support the good men in your life.
Right?
Give them a cigar.
If you're going to give them a cigar, give them something that means that.
That will inspire them to maybe, I don't know, step up a little.
Do something historical in a good way.
Or to just enjoy something nice.
I love it. I love it. Guys, we've got more Open Mic coming your way. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about what happens when Donald Trump phones in to CNBC to call them out on their rhetoric. It just gets even better, and they can't shut him up. There was no mute button. It was great. We'll be back with more Open Mic after this.
Do you have enough food to feed your family for several months if the supply chain falls apart? If not, why not?
There is no guarantee that grocery stores or even local farmers will be operating in your area if circumstances change.
The problem is that most survival food sucks. That's why we get long-term storage food from Heaven's Harvest. Their food doesn't suck.
Heaven's Harvest uses all natural ingredients that they freeze dry to maximize taste, nutrition, and shelf life.
They source their foods locally, right here in the United States. They even offer heirloom seeds so you can grow your own food.
It's the kind of food that you and your family could enjoy every day. And the way things are going, that might just happen.
Visit patriot.tv/food. That's patriot.tv/food and use promo code PATRIOT at checkout.
Don't wait. Stock up on long-term storage food today before food prices start rising again.
Sing it, Allie. Sing it, Allie.
I do want to say, wait one second. Donald Trump has tweeted out, truthed out, that I have instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. People who are in our country illegally will not be counted in the census. Full caps, he's yelling it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yes, thank you for your attention to this matter. Signing off, President Donald Trump.
I love that. Shouty caps. When he's all caps, he means business. Allie, this is why we say we need 2 hours, because there's so much more to get to. Can we just fast forward for a second?
Sure.
Okay, so take a look at this. Did you know this? We're talking about judges who might want to try to stop, all these things that Trump's doing. Take a look at this. Did you know that 33% of DC judges were foreign born? And 100% of them had no judicial experience before being appointed.
Slow down. We're going to say that one more time. 33% of the District of Columbia, DC, judges were foreign born. And 100% of them had no judicial experience before being appointed.
Again, this is being reported by Amuse. This is one of the and actually, you know how you can type into Grok, is this valid? And a whole report comes out. This is part of the problem when you have a president. When presidents can go ahead and appoint judges, this is true for both Democrat and Republicans. But you have no, I guess there's no checklist to go off of as far as, are they, it's true when you run for office, but not so much when you're being appointed. There's nothing wrong with being foreign born. But when you're making decisions to override what the people have elected through our elections, through the president, when you're overturning that, it makes me question, what are your motives? And when 100% of you haven't even been a judge before,
and I don't know if they're teaching, they're not, I know this for a fact, they're not teaching actual constitutional law in law school.
Guys,
so it just,
we're going to have to keep our eye on this.
It's bad. That's
we're
not
also
good.
We're also going to be keeping our eye on Senator Tom Cotton.
The Constitution, you should not be a judge.
Absolutely, keep your eye on Senator Tom Cotton. General Flynn has posted this on X. He's talking about how Tom Cotton has leading the effort to really now gut the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. You know, Tulsi Gabbard is exposing everything and bringing all these documents out. And at the same time, Senator Tom Cotton has sponsored a bill, S2202. He's calling it Intelligence Community Efficiency and Effectiveness Act of 2025. But what he's really doing is crippling somebody like Tulsi Gabbard to be able to do what she's doing. And that's giving you documents that were stored as classified but are not classified. What is Tom Cotton doing?
The downfall of America will be a weaponized intelligence agency.
Yes.
When you get weaponized intelligence and then you have weaponized judicial systems, that is a takeover. And that cannot happen here in America. Absolutely. So this senator needs to either be tapped on the hand and put in timeout, or he needs to be removed, because this cannot occur.
It cannot occur. This is not what you voted for. This is not what you voted for. And this is why it's important that those that we elect understand that we elect them to do the will of the people, not their own personal will. This also brings into account, since we're speaking about Tulsi Gabbard, we remember during the Iraq War, there was the intelligence community that came out and said there's weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. That's why we've got to go there and not any of the other places, that had to do with 9/11. That's why we said we went in. We've gone into Afghanistan, other areas. There was that report of weapons of mass destruction. Of course, our men get on and women get on the ground and find out there's no such thing. You're going to hear from Tulsi Gabbard. There's a common name between that failed intelligence and the failed intelligence that led to the Russia hoax. Take a listen to Tulsi Gabbard.
And that so many of my friends served in, and too many of my friends and too many Americans lost their lives in. James Clapper was on the team that created, that manufactured intelligence assessment that led to the Iraq war, about the Iraq WMDs. He writes about it in his book, saying that he and his team of intelligence analysts created something that was not there. When you look at his actions then, and you look at his actions in 2016 as Obama's director of national intelligence, you see someone who has no problem whatsoever politicizing and manufacturing and weaponizing intelligence for a political outcome.
Great, we can bring it back. Yeah,
Wow.
So not the first time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on us, I guess. So John Brennan Eric Clapper is definitely, this is not the first time he has fabricated intelligence.
It should really piss Americans off.
It should. Well, hey, since we're cruising, you want to know who is pissed off?
General Michael Flynn.
And who's got a microphone in front of him?
General Michael Flynn.
It's a hot mic. It's an open mic.
Woo.
And he's also spilling some beans on intelligence.
Where's my popcorn?
As it goes with Israel and the October 7th attack. Take a listen.
When I hear occupy Gaza, I hear American troops occupy, because the IDF can't do it. And the IDF chief of staff has been adamant. These cabinet meetings have been at each other's throat. To Netanyahu's son, who's 30-some years old, is tweeting out there's a mutiny and or a coup d'etat happening with the IDF against his father as the head of the Israeli government. Your thoughts on all this?
Yeah. So number one, I finished with the war in Ukraine is lost. That war was so poorly managed, and so many Ukrainian soldiers' lives were lost because of corrupt political leadership, period. And frankly, we don't have a leg to stand on, because we've had many people over the last number of years,
that have been over there, on co-Dells, staff Dells, whatever Dells you want to call them, and they all know it. It's just been one big money sieve. So that's where I stand on Ukraine, and it's sad. It's a sad situation. Israel, the Israeli government, and I know that there's some machinations, and there's got to be some big problems right now internal, and Netanyahu's dealing with it with the IDF. They're going to have to do some soul searching, and I mean immediate soul searching, because the 7th of October was a date, that they still have not been able to, and there's an investigation going on, and I've already heard from some of the soldiers that were told to stand down and the exact hours. So something bad happened, and it was an inside thing. I don't know, again, that's a bombshell right there. So the internal situation in Israel has got to be done with a
Hold it, hang on. Whoa. Hang on. You can't drop a bomb like that. Mike Flynn, your former head of DIA, first national security advisor, President Trump, a revered figure globally. You're saying your sources are telling you on the investigation that they're trying to slow down and slow walk over there because we're coming up on the 2nd anniversary of it. You're saying that you're hearing there's testimony or documents or actual evidence that certain elements of the Israeli military were told to stand down? Because I know from people I know, this is a very contentious area and it's going to be explosive. Are you hearing the same thing?
Steve, you can go back to interviews that I did like the next day and the following week after October 7th in multiple broad alternative media, where I said something went wrong. Because Steve, I have personally walked that border. I have been down at those areas, and I know the details.
I know we're up against a hard break, but listen, he did, like the day after, Flynn was on multiple news networks and said, I don't know how you don't know that this is happening. I don't know how you don't know that these terrorists are coming across your border and that they're air flighting in, like parachuting in at festivals and
somebody knew something. It just didn't add up right. It didn't pass the smell test. And you promised everybody a Trump phone call.
Okay, but can I forward? Can we do? Okay, Krista, let's do the first. We'll just do the first Trump phone call. This is CNBC. They're having a show. Trump says, I think I'm going to call in. They're talking about his approval ratings and poll numbers, and they're trying to spin it. Listen to Trump here.
Here we go. So you did get the highest number of votes in Texas, so that's true. But when you were talking about,
then you don't have to say anything more, Joe.
I got to say this.
No, don't say anything more. Don't qualify it by saying,
no,
I got the highest number of votes
you did.
in the
history
history
I'm moving
of
on.
Texas.
I'm moving on.
They can't stand it.
You're not going to take away my achievement, damn it.
Call in. I would.
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine?
I would love that. President Trump, we love you. Thank you so much for all you're doing and the sacrifice you're making.
That's it.
And everybody else watching, thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget to go to libertycigars.com and use promo code 250th in order to get 10% off of Liberty Cigars. Help Open Mic and definitely help Liberty Cigars. All right, you guys, we'll see you right here tomorrow, bright and early. 10
Friday.
a.m. I don't know if that's bright and early, but
it's bright and
whatever.
early for me.
We love y'all.
We'll see you guys. Bye.
Yeah.